Mr. Truck here with breaking news. Monday, which would have been January 14th, Ram at the Detroit Auto Show introduced their new 2019 heavy-duty trucks. Yes, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, and it's 400 horsepower, so that's class-leading torque. It will tow a 35,100-pound gooseneck trailer. That's class-leading. And, of course, what they did last year, the year before, the 30,000-pound RV trailer.
Cody Cushion makes your trailer smoother ride, isolates between the truck and the trailer, so your trailer doesn't feel the truck doesn't feel the trailer. Your horses have a better ride, your cargo has a better ride, you have a better ride in the truck.
Now, these new trucks are so awesome. Of course, they've got an upgraded transmission, an upgraded engine, an upgraded frame, upgraded suspension, upgraded all kinds of things to get to that weight. And we'll get some more details on that. And in the Power Wagon now has an 8-speed, which is awesome. So you might see some improvement in fuel mileage there. But a lot of news with Ram. That's the big news at the Detroit Auto Show. And it's going to be so cool this summer to go drive those. And I don't know how we're going to find a 35,100-pound trailer. Because right now we got a 30,000-pound trailer, and that wasn't easy. But these little 3-inch balls, we're going to have to find a coupler that'll accommodate 3-inch balls. Of course, if you're above 30,000 pounds, you should have a 3-inch ball. But it was just announced Monday. So it's so awesome. And I'm going to show you more details and give you more stats on this new truck. And that's on the high-output Cummins with the 6-speed Ison. The Ison's been upgraded to the transmission. That's done Ram very well. But watch the rest of this and get more details.
Yes, the truck market's competitive. And we saw last year with the half-tons. This year it's going to be the heavy duties and the super duties. They're all going to go after each other. In the old days, one truck would come out a year and the other guys would come out the next year, the following year, and it'd spread them out. Well, now it's so fierce, the competition in these big boys, that they're going to see 3 new trucks this year from all the manufacturers. Ram entered the market first, and this truck is amazing by going by the numbers. I mean, you've got you got 35,100 pound in a gooseneck trailer, and of course you've had the 30,000 and a fifth wheel set up for a couple of years now with Ram, all class leading. But when you figure out that you got 400 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet of torque, it just boggles the mind. And with those kind of trailer capacities, makes me wonder what it's going to be like. Now, I hope that our trailers can catch up to that, so we'll have brakes on the trailers that'll support these kinds of loads. And the Ram has beefed everything up on this truck, from frames to brakes, the engines, transmissions, all of that. I don't know for sure what the ply of tires are going to be. They were all 10 ply. Ford had 12 ply on the 450. So I don't know if Ram's going to get up to 12 ply, 14 ply. We'll find out. A lot of details to come. But yeah, and the base Cummins is no longer going to have a manual transmission option. They just didn't sell enough. And we're also losing the 5.7 Hemi and the heavy duties. It's still, of course, the big truck in the 1500. But in the heavy duties, it's gone away. And the 6.4, I mean, you listen to the videos as you'll see the Power Wagon come by. It has such a good rumble. I've always liked the Hemi sound on the 5.7, and the 6.4 was kind of, just plain. Well, I don't know what they've done to this Power Wagon, but just listen to the video when it comes by. I didn't mute that video because it's just gorgeous sound coming out of that 6.4 Hemi V8. So lots and lots of changes. And it's going to take a while to digest them all. You got more high strength steel in here. You've got more cameras. I see they even have a trailer camera set up for 2019. The new 360 surround view cameras with trailer reverse guidance and a few other things. So it's going to be a fun ride this year. We're going to see more and more stuff come out. But they got the new tire pressure monitoring system for the trailers now, so they're all catching up to that. I love all the improvements for the trailers. Of course, they're getting so many safety devices with forward collision warning and emergency braking. I used to be just happy to see ABS. Well, now you got adaptive cruise control with trailers. And that's one thing Ram has led the market in, besides all these big numbers with payload, payload and trailer capacity. Well, what is the payload on here? It's 7,680 pounds, which I'm sure is at the top of the class there. But what they've really done that I noticed over the last few years is their interiors. They've really spent the time and developed these interiors. And of course, now they haven't made the cab bigger on this one like they did the 1500, but you still have the mega cab, which was the big daddy way back when all this started. But you've got a lot of the interior aspects from the 1500, a 12-inch screen, all the speakers in the world, console. A lot of the dash in the interior looks similar to what the 1500 change was last year. But and lots of different headlights. They're really getting big on LEDs. And then you get into some of the other trucks. I'm not sure if the Bighorn is going to be the drop in price like it was on the 1500. That was, to me, was impressive. But um, the the Power Wagon now has an 8-speed, so that's what's new along those lines. And so hopefully that helps fuel mileage and some other things. Extra gears is always good to have. And they've changed the winch. It's no longer just a steel cable. It's probably got some kind of a nylon woven steel kind of cable, and we'll find out more about that. But and a few friends of mine, TFL, were used to argue with Ram about that, how that everybody else is going to more of a nylon kind of a rope over that steel winch cables that I have on my ATVs and all. But yeah, it is going to be interesting. This new high output 6.7 liter Cummins, they've done quite a few things to it. Looks like it's got the new cast iron cylinder heads. Let's see, it's got that new impacted graphite block, and then they've got some rollers that they've added to the. So also you've got new rocker arms, several things they've done to the engine. And the turbo is not dramatically different, but they have made some changes, and it was clear up to 33 psi on the boost. Um, and we'll still have the normal, the called the standard Cummins turbo diesel, and it looks like it's at 850 pound-feet of torque still and 370 horsepower. Um, and the Hemi, the 6.4, the only engine you're going to get in the Power Wagon now, it's 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. But that is a 3/4 ton uh, with the rear progressive coils. It's not, you can't do the same trailer towing capacity as the regular 2500 because of the way it's designed for off-road use with the lift kit, and then it's got that disconnect on the front sway bar. But the transmissions have been upgraded a lot, coming with the Ison and the one made by Ram. They've changed some shift points on it, and it just keeps getting better all the time. And now you're going to have the rotary dial shifter that they've done on the 1500 for years now. I'm actually used to it, and they can put all the 4-wheel drive buttons right next to it. It's convenient. I actually have no problem with the rotary dial I used to, but I'm liking it. Of course, you're going to have heavier duty transfer cases. Everything in drivetrain is going to have to be dramatically improved and strengthened to get to that 35,100 pound trailer capacity. That's just mind boggling. They're getting into that semi category, and I sure hope we have some good trailer brakes on these trailers, because that's going to be the next problem, is can you stop that trailer? But the frame is improved. They made the front rails a little wider, so it helps with stability. And I always like wide tracks. You've got all that. Um, they've done some more improvements to the cameras for backing up to the trailers. Suspension is improved. Just think of everything out there that is connected to the weight rating has got to be dramatically beefed up, including the brakes. So yeah, it's cool. it's going to be interesting what kind of noise reduction they have. They've done a lot of different things to it to eliminate some of the vibration and the noise. And these diesels are louder, so it's supposed to be quieter. It's I always like listening to the turbo and the whine of that and the exhaust brake, which sounds like a semi truck. So they're going to make it quieter, and that's what Ford and Ram has done. Ford and GM have done. So I guess that must be what the market's telling them to do. They've got to be a little quieter on everything. So that's something we can look forward to. I mean, I'm getting old. I mean, I like quieter trucks. I mean, I'm sure I love the sound of the Cummins and I love the sound of the exhaust brake, but not all the time. I like those long rides. I like to be fairly quiet. But looks like the warranty is the same, 5 years, 100,000 mile on the drivetrain. It's got active vibration dampers on the frame, noise cancellation systems, and it's going to be cool. I do look that new 6.4 sound, like I keep saying, but also has cylinder deactivation, so they'll actually run on 4 cylinders. So I can't have a great sound there, but when that V8's kicking in, it's just too cool. But yeah, I'm gonna really looking forward to getting my hands on one of these so I can go out and drive it and see all these new changes and what I can feel and what I can hear and all those different things. But yeah, and I've got to spend some time looking for a 35,000 pound gooseneck trailer because I haven't seen one. I mean, I've seen some pencil hitch on a bumper pull behind some of these trucks. Will get up there right quick, but the goosenecks, I'll have to look around, see what I can come up with. And in the 3-inch balls, the last few years we had problems finding those, even though that's the standard hitch ball in for a gooseneck in Australia. We're just getting to that point here, but all these trucks that are going to be over 30,000 pounds are going to have that 3-inch ball. So a quieter truck, a more powerful truck, and should be a safer truck. I hope they do that same wheel blocking thing they did the 1500 behind the front wheels so it doesn't intrude into the cab. But that I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of that and the changes that they've done. Kind of surprised the new Asian transmission on that high output isn't an 8-speed or a 10-speed. I guess that's something to look forward to later on down the road when those come out. But I have a lot of people all excited waiting for that to go out and play in the new Power Wagon because it's got a little bit different look to it. I like the new wheels for it and see just how it works. Looks like they're still using the American axles. It says it's got a larger 12-inch rear axle, 4.25-inch axle tubes, larger head, tail, and differential bearings, O-ring style axle shaft, and hub seal. I noticed that it looked like the front drive shaft had CV joints instead of universal joints, which a lot of the half-ton trucks have that. So now I guess we're going to see it in the big boys. But it looks like they've improved the connector on the front axle disconnect, which I'm glad to see it totally disconnect. That saves you a little bit of fuel. But on certain packages, you're going to be able to get that 12-inch screen, which everybody likes a big screen. I mean, that's much easier than pulling your laptop out. I like the 12-inch screen. That's going to be on these other trucks in certain packages. And then the Class 5 hitch on 2500s rated at 20,000 pounds goes up to 23,000 pounds on the 3500. And it looks like the same air options on the 2500. You can go to rear air or standard coil, progressive coil. The 1 tons, the 3500 single rear wheel is still leafs with that optional airbag inside the leafs toward a little further down the axle. Same way on the dually, it's still going to have leafs with the airbag on the axle tube inside the frame, and so that's what's carrying over. So I'd like to see them, put a little bigger airlines on it and have a way of getting the water out of the airlines like semis do. When you're up where it's cold, you can always have some water in the airlines. But hopefully they'll get that figured out. They keep improving their air system. It seems like every year when I drive one, I like it better, and I think it's an improvement on the ride and how it works. And now, using that air to drop your your the trailer off the truck is so cool. I have that on one of my trucks now where it actually will lift it up, so I don't have to crank the jack as much. When using that air system for that is really cool.